the Mission 500K community, real quick, you get access to the most up-to-date version of all of the courses. So that's the DIBS course as well as the Accelerator course, okay? You get coaching from me. I'm serving this year. The Mission 500K group, I've already talked to my Highmark group about us setting our goals. I am serving like never before in this group right here, this Mission 500K membership, because I believe these are for the serious folks. Some folks will just come to everything free, take notes, try to do a couple things, and don't make much progress. The folks that are in the Mission 500K membership are connected for sure, okay? And I coach them. I meet with them, I coach them, I do some stuff live. We showed you us going through a proposal with someone, all that, right? So coaching, community, contracts and conversations, you get the recordings of all of the different contracts and conversations we've already done. So courses, community, coaching, contracts and conversations, all happen by way of being a part of the Mission 500K community. You have different level access because there is a financial commitment, okay? Because what we're not going to do is spend $500 on our hair, $50 on our nails, and put $1 in offering, and then say, Lord, bless me with $1 million business, and invest $2.50 in a class, right? Those numbers don't make sense. The investment for the Mission 500K membership is very simple. It's $229 a month. It's $2,250 for the entire 12 months. $2,250 for 12 months of hand-holding, coaching, courses, and stuff. That's what the investment is. Okay, we're going to knock that out right here in the beginning. If you're interested, go to mission500k.com and let's do that. Okay, so our previous contracts and conversations, those of you that are in Mission 500K, you have access to them. We access to these trainings, and these folks, right? So we did Turn Your Conversations into Cash with Quinn Conyers, a dope session, right? We've done Overcoming Stress, Anxiety, and Overwhelming Burnout with Coach Benita Williams, another amazing session about really, really taking time to take care of you, right? The common denominator in your business. We've done Address Your BS, your blind spots, your backstory, your belief systems, your bank statements, your stuff with Coach AM. That recording is available. And the last one that we did in the end of the year was federal contracting for barbers and cosmetologists. Now that was amazing with our very own Curtis Merriweather, and that was eye-opening, right? So we talked about succeeding in the beauty barber industry. You guys know my husband has a barbershop. We are absolutely registered and ready to do what we need to do in the Federal Bureau of Prisons and in the VA. Remember, y'all learned two words that were very important. Anybody remember? You can put it in the chat. But there were two words important to contracts in this area. Cranial prosthesis. Don't you forget that. All right, so I already told you about that. And boom, let's jump into what we're here for today. So for in terms of upcoming events or whatever, we're going to do our goal setting and certifications today. This is really more of a conversation. I am going to share the screen, so there will be some things you can note down, but I'm going to really be sharing more of like kind of how I set goals, how I look at them, and how I would encourage you to do the same, okay? So goal settings and certifications, that's today. We have DIBS daily all next week. So for those of you that are in the DIBS course, you've taken the DIBS course, you've done the self-paced course, and you need some additional help, or you're interested in DIBS. Remember, if you're in the Mission 500K, you get access to the whole DIBS course and the Accelerator course. But if you're interested in DIBS, that's the DLA Internet Bid Board System. We're doing DIBS daily next week, Monday. I don't know why that says Friday, and I don't know why that says Monday. It should be flipped. And I don't know why that says Sunday. But anyway, today is Friday the 21st, and the 24th is Monday. So starting this Monday, we are going to meet every single morning. And Jasmine, put the time, Lord, inside the chat, please. I think it's 10:30 to 11:30. I think it is 10 to 11, something like that. It'll be in the chat in a second. But it'll be every morning, and it's just Monday to Thursday. Every morning I'll be doing Dibs Daily. And so you can get any of your questions answered and all that good stuff. And then not Sunday the 4th, but February the 4th, which is a Friday, we're going to be talking about forecasts and free resources that are available to you in the federal marketplace. Okay? There it is. We got a lot of typos on here, but that's my fault. That's not even my team. That is me. I don't know, like Mission500k.com. Like, we got all kinds of stuff happening. But let's go. We are going to talk a little bit about goal setting and strategy, right? And I don't care how small your business, how micro, whatever your business may be, you need a strategy. Okay, when we think about goal setting, usually the first thing that comes to mind are, setting like SMART goals. Y'all know the SMART goal movement, right? So SMART goals are set all the time, and SMART goals are set for multiple industries. And SMART goals are the things that people think of typically when you're setting goals, right? And it's an acronym. It's making sure that your goals are S, specific, M is measurable, A is achievable, R is relevant, and T is time bound or timely, right? And so SMART goals are usually what people run to when it's time to do goal setting, which is good. I have already put a worksheet, a SMART goals worksheet inside our community. So if you're in the community, you can get that worksheet and you can have that. You don't need it for what we're about to do right now, but you can use this after we talk a little bit about these goals, okay? So SMART goals are what people typically run to. Goals are good. But goals oftentimes set by entrepreneurs, whether you're new, existing, whatever, those goals are usually kind of just, I'm just going to throw some stuff up against the wall. And I'm going to just call out a number and I'm going to make that my goal. And what happens is when I don't reach that goal, I leave room for disappointment and I end my year or I end my quarter or I end my month more disappointed than encouraged, right? And so when I set a goal and I put nothing, no thought behind it, no strategy, that's why we're going to talk about this, no strategy behind it, I am left feeling more disappointed and frustrated than anything. You understand what I'm saying? And we don't want you to be frustrated and disappointed because you can't move your business forward that way. So in addition to setting goals, and before I would say we set goals, you need a strategy, right? What is a strategy? A strategy is right here. You've had time to write it now. A strategy is a set of choices you're going to make to navigate through a set of obstacles to get to your long-term destination. Okay, I love the word in the first sentence, choices. A strategy is a set of choices you're going to make to navigate through a set of obstacles to get to your long-term goal. So what does that mean? That means we got to talk a little deeper about how you're going to do it. What are you going to say yes to? What are you going to say no to? What choices are you going to make in order to navigate the ups and downs, the highs and the lows, all those things, right? And so we'll get into a couple steps here, right? First thing you gotta determine is your destination. Where are you going? Where are you going? What kind of business are you building? Ask, and this is an important question to setting these goals. What kind of business are you building? Some of you are building something that just replaces your income and allows you to live comfortably with some freedom, period. And that is okay if that's what you're building. But you got to be able to answer this question, okay? What are you building? So if you're building something to replace your income and just get your time freedom so you can think creatively and travel, okay? Maybe that's what you're building a business for. If you are building a business that you want to ultimately sell and invite investors into and those kinds of things, then that's what you're building, right? If you are building a business that creates jobs and opportunities for folks in your community or folks in your family or whatever it is, then that's what you're building. If you're building a business where you can work from anywhere, that WFA life, work from anywhere, just give me an internet connection, then that's what you're building. If you're like me, I have a vision. 80% of my income will be recurring and 20% of my income will be earned. Meaning I am going to invest my time in building things in my business that create recurring income, period. Only 20% of my business should require that I show up. Everything else that I build needs to be evergreen. It needs to be like the word, like it needs to give life all the time, like the Lord, the same yesterday, today, forever. It just works all the time, right? So I build a lot of courses and content and things that don't require that I show up all the time, but I'm still providing value. Now that's just one part of my business, right? This is just one segment of my business, but what are you building is the point. And then what is your destination? Okay. I am looking in the chat real quick. It's on. Okay. So what are you building? What is your destination? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? These are questions you need to be asking yourself, right? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What can you do? Who are you trying to serve? Why are you trying to serve them? What are you trying to get out of this business? You have to start by knowing that. If you do not have a destination, you're going absolutely nowhere, right? You can't get into your car and say, GPS, just take me somewhere. Where are you going? And then what will happen is the clearer you get about what your destination is and where you're going, the easier it is to make decisions in your business. Because if it's not getting you to where you're going, we're not going there. You ever been in a car with your kids on your way to some place and then they ask you to do something like stop at Chick-fil-A and Chick-fil-A is all the way across town in the opposite direction? We're not going that way is what you say, right? We are not going that way. That's what I say. Or you might say, we don't have Chick-fil-A money. And then my son would say something like, well, what kind of money do you have? Because he has said that to us before, right? But you get what I'm saying. When you know where you're going, it's easier to say, no, we're not going to do this today. For those of you that we worked with over in November, we talked about all the different ways to do business with the federal government. Remember? The purchase cards, and I'm going to do Dibs, or I'm going to do Unisign, or I'm going to write proposals, I'm going to get on GovExpert, all these different areas that you can focus on, but you can't focus on them all at the same time. So choose a destination. So we chose one thing to concentrate on. Because I know where I'm going, we're serving at a high level. So I am committed to serving and creating things that serve my audience often and excellently, if that's a word, right? And serving with excellence and serving often. That's what we're doing, okay? So write these questions down, things that you need to ask yourself. Step one, in setting this strategy and then leading to your goals. Diagnose the challenge. Diagnose the challenge. I want you to think about your business this way, right? Think about yourself as a doctor, right? As a doctor. When you go to the doctor's office and something ain't working right, because we have these challenges in our businesses, right? There are things that are just not working right, or not beneficial. So diagnose it. What's the problem? You go to the doctor and you sit in the office and you say, listen, my stomach is hurting. I got this, I got this sore throat. I've had a headache for a couple days. This is going on. This is going on. And then the doctor begins to ask you some questions. So are you having any pain? Any pain anywhere? Okay, so how long have you had that headache? Okay, well, how much water are you drinking? Tell me about your diet. What kind of food are you eating? What's a typical day look like? Right? The doctor is asking you questions because what he's doing is he's pulling on knowledge that he has about what could possibly be the problem, right? But he's asking questions so that he can discover what the actual problem could be. Right? And after you tell them you got a headache, you got, fatigue, you have this going on, you have this going on, they may run some kind of a test. They may take your blood, check your iron, and then they'll look at your skin and do all that stuff and say, guess what? You're dehydrated. That's the problem. And so because we know the problem is dehydration, these are the things we can do to address dehydration. Okay, you guys still following me? So what I want you to do is do that in your own business. Diagnose the problem. What is going on? When, what's his name? God, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, when he took over Apple, he told this story in a book. I can't think of the name of the book right now. But when he took over Apple, the company was not doing all that well, right? But he had to come in, and his thing was, I got to diagnose what's going wrong. And the thing that he came up with, he was like, okay, we're bleeding money. We have way too many products. Our marketing and everything is like extremely confusing to our customers. They don't know what we should be known for because we got like a bunch of product lines, and it was something else. I forget what it was. But he took time to see what's the problem, what's going on. Are you bleeding money in your business? Why? How do we solve that problem? How do we, you know what I'm saying? So he discovered all these things that were happening in the company, and he said, okay, so here's what we got to do. We got to find a strategic approach for how we're getting to our ultimate destination, right? Let's find a strategic approach for how you're going to get there. How are you going to address the problem? Okay. And so now he looked at the business and said, okay, we're bleeding money. So we need to cut back. We need to cut back everywhere. We need to cut back here. We need to cut back there. We need to say no to this. Instead of having our products in these 8 stores, we're only going to have our products in these 3 stores because it's going to save us time, logistics, money. We're going to be able to control it better. We'll be able to watch things better. So we're going to say no to some things that look like they make sense but are hurting us. Right? So this is how we're going to address the bleeding money issue. We have too many products. We have our marketing, everything is confusing. So we're going to stop with creating all these different things, and we're going to focus on 1 or 2 products. We're going to focus on a handful of products instead of hundreds of products, right? We don't want to be an option for everything. So what about you? Looking at your products, looking at what you offer, what can you simplify? And again, I always tell you guys like stuff that I'm doing because I believe that that's how you really help people. We've had to do this just in the Highmark group alone. Just had a conversation with my team. I was like, I got like, a bunch of courses, like a lot. I got a lot of different courses and stuff I can do. So, but I don't want it to be confusing and I don't want it to be too much. We're just going to do the Mission 500K membership. We're going to scale it down. If you want to be down, get down. That's how we getting down. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Because I don't want it to be confusing. I don't want to be all over the place. And I want to make sure that we get results. So you have to do that in your business. What is your strategic approach? Find a strategic approach after you've diagnosed the problem and decided you are dehydrated, okay, drink water, add some fruits and vegetables to your breakfast, do the things, take the vitamins, do all the stuff that you're supposed to do to address dehydration. Okay, step 3. Put down a set of actions to navigate you to your destination. Put down a set of actions. This is where you get a little more specific. What specific action are you going to take? What specific action are you going to take? Write those things down. Keep those things before you. Discuss those things with your team. Okay? What actions are you going to take? You better have a yes list and a no list. Okay? That's going to be that's what I'm going to put right here. Put yes and no. I'm going to try to illustrate this for you. For those of you that have done any level of kind of personal development stuff, you've heard me talk about understanding who you are, right? And coming to terms with who you are and showing up as him or her everywhere all the time, right? Showing up like your authentic self. There are a lot of people who have no idea who they are. Now, for me, y'all already know, my identity is found in Christ. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am made in the image and the likeness of God. I am one of his favorite daughters, okay? He loved me. He like y'all, but he loved me. So I know who I am. I'm created by him, for him, and I do all things so that God gets glory, period. Now, that also not feeds, but informs my actions, the way I behave, the way that I show up. I'm a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. My father is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, right? I lack absolutely nothing because all that I need, he has, right? So, and I got all this angelic support, and I got goodness and mercy, and I got the word and the power of agreement, and that. So I show up everywhere. I'm not scared. I got a whole spiritual entourage, right? Showing up in the room. All right, so I say that to say you got to know who you are. But when you hear me say knowing who you are, it's also as important to know who you're not, right? So I know who I'm not. And sometimes you got to start with knowing who you're not in order to get to knowing who you are. So when I say make a yes list and a no list, the things that you need to be saying no to, knowing what those are just as important as knowing what you need to be saying yes to. This year or this quarter, there are some things I'm saying no. I know I'm not available for that. Okay? No, I will not be doing 15 free speaking engagements, not this quarter, not next quarter. And we'll talk maybe third quarter. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I know what I'm saying no to. So you need to have a list of no's and you have to have a list of yeses. Is this making sense to you guys? And I know I ask that a lot, but it's because I can't see you. Okay. It's because I can't see you. So if you type yes, then I know that this is helpful. And this is valuable to you. Okay, so your yes and your no list. This is all in the effort to set goals for yourself. And we're gonna spend this last 15 minutes on certifications and what you need to know for 22. I promise you, I got you. All right, so we will not run out of time. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so that's going to get us into certifications. So back to our steps. Our step 1, diagnose your challenges. Look at your business and diagnose what the problem is. Okay. Step 2, find a strategic approach. Once you know what the problem is, it's now time for solutions. What's the solution? How do you address dehydration? How do you address bleeding money? How do you address being confusing in what you offer and communicating to your team? How do you address those things? And then what set of actions are you going to take, right, to get you to your destination? What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? Okay, where are you going to focus? Got it? So this is work for you to do. I can't do this right now in an hour. I can only give you the tools to help you get it done during our time together. Okay? Any questions on this stuff? As you set your goals, the last thing that I want you to do, and this is what we do in our business, we set a theme. Now, you can set a theme for yourself for the year, or you can set a theme for yourself for the next 90 days. What we do in our business is we take a 12-month goal, right? So I go 12 months, my goal for the year. So an example, this year, I want to get 2 certifications done, and I'll name exactly what they are. I want to make sure I have my HubZone certification, or I want to make sure I have my HubZone and my 8A. I want to make sure I have my HubZone and my Women-Owned certification, right? Whatever it is, I want to get my certification together. I want to hire new team members, so I need to add 2 new team members to the team, right? I want to achieve sales sales of 15 million this year. Okay, these are big goals, right? And another one might be, secure an office space or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out. But I'll set the 12-month goal, right? And then what I'll do is I'll take 1 or 2 of those goals. We break those down, and from 12 months, we come up with our quarterly goals. Right? And so let's take certifications, for example. I'm going to take certifications, and that's going to go in the first quarter. And so in my 90-day goal, in my 90-day plan, right, I'm going to make sure that I include getting my certifications done. Right? Once I list my certifications, there are like a million little tasks that need to happen in order for me to get that certification. I need to, 1, understand it. 2, I need to pull all the paperwork that's required. And as I pull the paperwork, I might discover that I have to create a resume. I might discover that I have to get a copy of the taxes for the last 3 years. I might discover, all those tasks will start to reveal themselves as I'm working on the certification, right? And then I have to submit it. And then I have to find a place to keep and house all this stuff. So there's a bunch of little tasks that go along with it. And I spread those tasks over either the quarter, if I'm going to do a quarter, or I spread it over the weeks if I'm going to do it within a month. So 12-month goal. I take those, I break them down into quarters, and I take 3-month goals at a time. So 90 days at a time. I decide in these 90 days, these are the things that I'm going to accomplish. When you try to just reach for the 12-month goal all year long, that's a recipe for disaster, and it's a recipe for disappointment. So we're not reaching for the 12-month all year. We're reaching 90 days at a time. I'm setting a theme for my 90 days. My theme is, let's say, visibility. I need to be more visible in the marketplace, right? I need to be more visible. I don't know. Visibility might be a theme. Processes and procedures might be a theme for that 90 days. Creating systems might be a theme for the 90 days. Again, certification might be the theme for the whole 90 days, because there's many certifications that you can pursue. So that might be the theme. But you got to set something just for those 90 days. And everything that's not in line with that theme for those 90 days goes on the no list just for now. And it's only so that you can get clear and focused. Clear and focused. Got me? Okay, let's get to these certifications. All right, I'm going to go over to SBA.gov. And this is where you're going to go as well, because this is where you're going to get all the information that you need about certifications. And I'm just going to tell you, which ones are getting mad love this year. There we go. Okay. I'm going to tell you which ones are getting mad love this year. If you have questions as we go through these, you guys just let me know, okay? So A couple things that you need to know when it comes to government certifications, right? There's a difference between just certifications that the state and city recognize, and then there's certifications that the federal government recognizes, and those are the certifications that mean something. So for example, in your state you can have a unified certification, which usually gives you access in most cities or states, cities really, gives you access to like the Department of Transportation, and the Port Authority, and maybe the school district might be wrapped up in one city unified certification, right? Those are good for city and state type jobs because they do have a participation goal that they need to meet. Okay, so those certifications or designations, you'll hear me use those words interchangeably, those certifications or designations are important there, right? In the federal marketplace, your DOT certification means nothing, okay? Certified with SEPTA don't mean nothing over here in the federal marketplace, okay? I'm saying doesn't mean nothing. It really doesn't. It doesn't have there's not a goal for that in the federal marketplace. It means something for credibility and on your capability statement and things like that, but you're not going to find a set aside for somebody certified through SEPTA on a federal portal, opportunity portal. Does that make sense? So you have state and local government, you have state and local government, and then you have your federal government, okay? These are all federal programs. The federal certifications, these programs, these designations are all free, right? Free. They are free. There are people who will charge you to do your certification, and that's fine if you want to outsource it, but the certifications in the federal marketplace are free. There are others that are charged, that have a cost. The Minority Supplier Development Council, that has a charge. NMSDC, right, that has a charge. It's like $300. WeBank is a third party. That's the Women's Business Center, WBENC. WeBank, that has a charge, right? They charge you for that. These are free. If it's on SBA.gov, it's free. Got that? So the small disadvantaged business, which is very interesting because there's not much you got to do except be you. So let's go to SDB. You guys know that there's the fact sheet, right, out in December 2nd, 2021. The Biden-Harris administration announced that they would officially move forward with their plan to increase the amount of contracts going to small disadvantaged businesses by 50% over the next 4 years, equating to about $100 billion, right? Over the next 4 years. And so what they are looking at are specifically small disadvantaged businesses, right? SDB. Now, in SAM.gov, where many of you are registered, and if you do not know what I'm talking about, you need to be in the Mission 500K group, period. Okay, because it's not going to be remedial. Small disadvantaged business. The government has a goal to award it about 10%. And what they're looking to do right now in this new administration is actually increase that some more as well. So they have a goal right now of 10% of all federal contracting dollars to go to small disadvantaged businesses. Now that equates to $50 billion. You see that here, right? These are the requirements. They're very simple requirements. Almost everybody qualifies. It's a self-certifying type thing. When you register in SAM, you literally click the link, okay? You click the link and you say, I'm a small disadvantaged business because I meet these requirements. Now, when we go deeper into the small disadvantaged business programs, you have additional programs that you qualify for or may qualify for. And these are the cream of the crop. You heard me? You guys that have been with me for years have heard my varying opinions on programs such as the 8A program, okay? If you were with me in 2020, you heard me saying wait, right? Wait for the 8A program. Wait until you get your business together, succeed in the commercial space, get your good, get your past performance together, and just know what your business is going to do before you get into the 8A program so that you don't waste the 9 years, right? You heard me say that in previous years. Well, things have evolved since then. And so my recommendation today is that if you are on this call and you qualify for the 8A program, you need to submit your application this weekend. Okay, this weekend. The 8A program, there is not another program like it, and I can talk about it because I've been in it. I'm trying to figure out how to get my kid or somebody else in it so I can do it one more time, because you only can have the 8A certification once in your business lifetime. I can't do it again, right? You get 9 years in the program and that's it. But it is the only one of its kind. It is specifically a business development program. What that means is exactly what is said about it right in this paragraph, and I'm not reading it verbatim. But this program is one of the only ones that comes with training to make sure that you succeed, a business opportunity specialist, which is a person at the SBA who is supposed to help you find contracts. They're not all created equal, so it depends on where you are. I'll get into that another time, right? But you do get a person, an advocate at the SBA, you're supposed to, that helps you. You do get access to different kinds of funding for your business also. The whole point of the business development program is to do just that. Develop you and your business in the federal marketplace, okay? The benefits are ridiculous. One of my favorites is that you get access to sole source contracts, meaning contracts you don't have to bid for. Do you have to do work? Yeah. Do you have to do some research? Yes. But all the tools that I've taught you in the accelerator and some of that other stuff, man, you'll be in FPDS backwards and forwards and sideways, finding contractors that are expiring out of the program and about to lose their contracts, and you can eat like Pac-Man. Okay, so the 8A program is a very important one. Now, there are requirements, right? So you can't be, well, here it is, program requirements. You have to be a small business, obviously. You cannot have been in the 8A program before. You have to be at least 51% owned and controlled by a socially economic disadvantaged person, meaning that need to be you. If that, like, you need to be 51% in control. Okay, your personal net worth. So if you are balling, if you balling, you don't qualify. Okay, have a personal net worth. Well, that's not even balling because. Okay, never mind. Personal net worth of 750,000 or less. A personal net worth of 750,000 or less. That does not include like your personal residence, and I don't even think they include like retirement and stuff like that. Okay, your adjusted gross income has to be $350,000 or less, and you gotta have 6 million or less in assets. Okay, that's it. The 9-year program is designed to help you succeed. You will have to do business plans and things like that, but this is the program that you want to be in. When the Biden-Harris administration starts talking about, this is what we're going to do for small disadvantaged businesses, you better believe they're going to look to the programs that they already have in place first. And this is it right here. Okay? I can go into other things like you get access to surplus equipment and material for your business. Many people don't even know that. I did it before, so I know. Like, I literally went to a warehouse that they sent me to, and I went and found some computer equipment and some printers. They even have cars or trucks, and I mean all kinds of stuff that you have access to, and you pay like pennies for it because you're in this program. So this is the one. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. I'm going to 8A. Okay, this is the one. If you don't spend time on no other one, that's the one I want you to spend time on. Okay, that's one. The other one, in addition to the 8A program, your HubZone program. This is going to be extremely important, right? So HubZone it's all based on, it's based primarily on geographic location. Your HubZone certification, like the 8A program, you can get sole source opportunities through a HubZone certification as well. It's all about where you're located. Now, HubZone stands for Historically Underutilized Business Zone. I cannot believe it's 10 o'clock, but we started at 10:15, so we got till 10:15, okay? If everybody is okay with that, put that in the chat. HubZone, Historically Underutilized Business Zone. That is where your business, your primary office must be located in a hub zone in order to qualify for this, okay? You also have to employ, I believe it's at least 37% of your employees must also live in a hub zone. They don't have to live in the same hub zone where the business is, but they do have to live in a hub zone. Oh, employees at least 20%. I'm sorry, 20% is right here. Which is, wait, okay. Contract must attempt to maintain 35% employment of HubZone residents by demonstrating that it employs at least 20% HubZone residents and is making, oh, okay. Well, that's good. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so you have to have a certain percentage of your employees that live in a hub zone, and that's a hub zone anywhere. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet right here for those of you that are interested in hub zone. All you have to do is Google the hub zone map, right? You can Google the hub zone map and literally put your address in. So if you weren't on the page and you wanted to do hub zone map, right? You just Google it. It's going to bring up this map right here. And then you put in the address. Like, for example, my co-working space here is located inside of a hub zone. So guess what my office address is? You guessed it. 5310 Lenox Avenue, right? And when you press it, look at there. It says qualified hub zone, right? So when you Google it, you'll put your address in and you'll see if you qualify. This is the first thing you need to do. Don't waste your time if you don't have an address in a hub zone, because that's going to be key. Okay, so that's one thing you got to do. Your employees also have to be in a hub zone as well. And I believe that there are also there's one other requirement that I wanted to highlight. I can't think of what it is right now. But the great thing is you can actually qualify for HubZone for up to 10 years if you have a 10-year lease at your HubZone location. And what that means is even after the maps, so the maps expire after a while because of, gentrification and everything else. So places that were hub zones become hub zones no longer. But if you're able to secure a 10-year lease and prove that you are, still in this community or whatever, you're able to stay in the HubZone program for 10 years. So you can keep eating in the HubZone program. The thing about HubZone, right? You want to develop a relationship with your SBA because usually local SBAs struggle to meet their participation goal for HubZone. And so if you come in knowing what you know based on what I've taught you and you're registered and you have a HubZone certification, you would qualify for contracts because they need to meet their HubZone requirements. Okay? So having a HubZone certification also means you need to have a great relationship with your SBA folks. Got me? Okay. The other ones that are important, and we're not going to over all of them. Obviously, I just showed you where they are. And then you can, well, no, I'm going to back up. Women-owned small business. If you are a woman and you own 51% or more of your business, there's no reason why you should not have the women-owned small business certification or designation. Okay, so women-owned is very straightforward, very simple. You do all of these right online. Okay, so women-owned is straightforward. The service disabled veteran-owned, again, that is another extremely awesome program. And all of the requirements are here. Of course, you know, the federal government has what through the VA what's known as the Vets First program, where they look at veterans first. The VA awards a large amount of their contract dollars to veterans first. Okay, and so those set aside opportunities for you as a VOSB or a SDVOSB are extremely important. Got me? Okay, so the one that we're highlighting and standing, the two that we're highlighting and standing up are HubZone and 8A for sure. You can have all of these if you qualify for them all. Now, they're not all necessary, but you know, you can have as many of them as you want. This 8A program, though, is something that I would definitely put in your goals for this first 90 days. The reason why we're talking about this right now here today in January is because you need to get started on it right away. The application process can take a while, and there's a, you know, they always have a backlog, especially now with labor shortages. So there's certainly a backlog, but you want to start on this application right away. I am going to, good to go as well. Okay, I am going to take your questions. For those of you that are in the Mission 500K group, again, we have in the, let me see, in the accelerator. I think it's in the accelerator. It is in the accelerator. You have that Asana boot camp. You have that Asana boot camp access, and so I want to make sure that you know there's the Asana boot camp shows you where to put your documents, how to organize your stuff, so you can get these certifications done and submitted quickly. Okay, done and submitted quickly. So definitely use that as a tool. I am going to stop talking because I've been talking this entire time, and I know I tried to pour like a gallon into a pint. Okay? What questions do you have?
This is Shannon.
Hey,
Hi.
Shannon.
Hi. I just have a question about that change in perspective of 8A, get it now. You know, so my question is, if you're like a brand new business, maybe working on your first client, you've just done your business plan, just trying to understand that past performance and all the stuff that used to make us want to wait, just trying to get your perspective on if you're a brand new business and then you're going to dive into that 8A application.
Yeah, that is a great question. And so brand new, just getting started, like literally you're a startup and you've never done significant business like at all. What I would say to you is go women owned first. Do the women owned if you qualify for that. Even HubZone first if you qualify for that, because it's a fine line. You don't want to waste your time in the 8A program, and then they will require, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like a year or two in business before you qualify, because you do have to submit a business plan. So I would say if you are startup, you know nothing, don't wait on 8A just a little bit, but do women own or HubZone or one of those.
Thank you,
And then, of
ma'am.
course, check that box for small disadvantage because you're still small business, which has its own set asides.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Who else has a question? You got to do it quickly because I'm jumping off in a minute, um, and I want to respect your time and all that good stuff. So, who else has a question? And I'll see if there's any more inside the chat. Um, any more in the chat? No. Okay. Well, listen, if y'all ain't got no questions, create a legacy, me too. Anything else? Anything else? I have a question about changing. Oh, okay, that was you, Shannon. All right, raise your hands. I'll give you another couple seconds while you're thinking about what your question is. You can either come on, just start talking, or something. But Mission 500K, again, go over to mission500k.com. If you yeah, yes. Somebody says, no question. I got some certs to apply for. Yes, you have some certs to apply for. You got some evaluation of your business to do. You got to set some good goals. And listen, we're looking to hold you accountable. So this Mission 500K group, like I said, this is available to you. It is $229 per month. This is replacing like everything. This is where all things federal contracting are going. Those of you that are a part of this group, you get access to all of these recordings and any of the extra worksheets and tools that go with these kind of forums, okay? So those are automatically put inside of the Teachable portal for those that are in the Mission 500K group, all right? You get time to meet with me to come up with your strategy. I'll work with you live in the group, right? So you have an enormous amount of support to ensure that you succeed this year. Okay, you guys already know I'm a giver. I'm a give of time. I'm a give of talent. I'm a give of resources. I will say this: I did put the upcoming Dibs Daily, which we're gonna do starting next week, Monday. But I want to put this bug in your ear real quick. I had a conversation yesterday. With a friend of mine who works at MBDA, and we are putting together a special webinar specifically for our students, those that are connected in the community, because apparently MBDA is sitting on some money. What they told me was, we are sitting on money and we got federal funds. We got to use it or lose it. We have till June. And so if you're looking for funding and capital and things like that, right now, tentatively, we have something that we're going to be scheduling for next Friday. If you're in the group, you'll get the notification immediately to let you guys know that that is a definite. But stay connected. How many of you are looking for capital or funding this year to grow your business, and you know what you're gonna do with the capital? Not, I just need $500,000. Don't. How many of you need capital and you know you have a plan? You know what you're gonna do with the money. Okay. All right, good. Because I just want to make sure it's going to be something that's going to be valuable. Somebody asked a question. Evaluation of my business and certifications to apply. I need to become a Mission 500K member. Yes, you do, Vicky. I called you yesterday, girl, to check in on you. Yes, you do. Mission500k.com. You need to go there. Can I partner with a vet and still have access? For sure. Partnering, remember, partnering and teaming is the name of the game. If you are able to find an opportunity and then put together the team that can fulfill the opportunity, for surely, absolutely. And in fact, I'm telling you now, and I'm just going to let the cat out the bag. I've been teaching you guys for the last 3 years, and I stopped pursuing opportunities directly. right? So I stopped pursuing federal contract opportunities directly for a little while so that I can focus on teaching, putting stuff together so that we can share, so that we can build. This year, though, we're pursuing opportunities. I'm looking and I'm partnering with our students. I'm partnering with folks in Mission 500K for sure. As I find them, they already know. Expect a phone call. I done asked for. I got capability statements from most. Where I'm not playing. Okay, we're going from a 6-figure business to 15 million in 2 years. For real. And I got a real strategy. Okay. So partnering and teaming is the name of the game. The point of community is so that you guys would partner and team with each other. You got to do that though. I can't do that for you. I'm sorry, I get excited about that kind of stuff. When creating a personal financial statement, how recent of information I should use. Yeah. So your personal financial statement should be reflected within the last 60 days. Within the last 60 days. They will, of course, your tax returns, years previous, all that stuff. And then on your personal financial statement, don't leave nothing out. They will back out whatever is there that doesn't belong. So like your personal residence or something like that, if that's on your financial statement or something related to a 401k or something like that, they'll back out whatever to make sure you meet whatever requirements you need to make. But 60 days typically, 30 days of course is best, but 60 days at least. I am looking for funding right now to complete projects. Okay. Do you know exactly how much funding you need, Miss Keisha? Yes, I have a plan for funding to grow my business. You did. Okay. Yes, I did. I left you a message. Richard, are you veteran owned already? You said you're a vet. Have you already done the certification, or is this what you're going to commit to doing? And while you answer that,
Not a vet.
go ahead.
No, I was saying I'm not a vet. I just heard of all the opportunities, so I was wondering if another company could partner up with a vet and access all the same benefits.
Yeah, for sure. You absolutely can team and partner with a veteran company. And in fact, we have a few in the group. Y'all need to talk more. I don't. You guys have to communicate with one another. You have everything you need. Nothing new needs to be created for you to succeed this year. For real. So if you're looking to partner with a veteran business, say it in the group. You understand? Raise your hand, but we gotta communicate better. We gotta do this together, guys. There I can use funding. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so my MBDA person, I'm bringing into the group. So just look for a message from us, and I will confirm that. But like I said, we talked yesterday. We talked about next Friday around 12 o'clock, 12 to 1. So just tentatively put a marker there, and we'll get that taken care of. I want to know what certification you're going to go after this year. Put it in the chat. What certification? What goal are you going to set? Which certification are you pursuing this year? This quarter. Let's go. Let me see who we have. And here's the other thing. For those that are in the group already, share what certification you do have and who you're looking to partner with and what you do. You got to share that stuff often so that we can work together. So we got WOSV. Yes, absolutely, Shannon, for Rafi Institute. You better recertify in service disabled veteran owned small business. Vicky, are you still doing purchasing? You still buy?
Yes, ma'am. We're always looking for someone to purchase from.
Okay, Vic, Tell the people. See, because y'all be playing games. Y'all be playing games. There's no reason why you shouldn't be succeeded in this group. So, Victoria, what do you buy, honey?
So, hi everyone. I'm Victoria Bugs, and I currently work for the Department of the Defense, and we purchase everything. And currently, we're always looking for office supplies. We're always looking for medical supplies. My purchase car holding limit is 10K a day. So with that being said, I'm able to go into the Coors office and purchasing office as long as I have three competitive offers. That's within my budget and reasonably priced. I'm able to just say we're going to go with this person and get the head up with who we're dealing with the higher leadership. For my office, I work for the Office of Surgeon General. So even training in mental health and things of that nature, I'm able to say, okay, we're going to go with this company because A, B, C, and D. So what I basically need is your capability statement, and I can take that straight into the office and tell them I want to go with this person because.
Thank you, Miss Victoria.
So that's what I do. Thank you, Serena.
No problem. I told y'all I give you the goods. I can't spoon feed nobody. I'm not doing it this year, y'all. Get in the Mission 500K group. Okay, invest your little $229, which I'm not even gonna talk about. I'm not even gonna talk about that. that money, right? You're going to invest. I know that I give y'all six-figure resources. Every time I turn on this camera, I give you value that can take you to where you need to go. Every time. And so if you're not in the group, I'm gonna tell you today, I feel some type of way. I'm just gonna leave it there. And I don't usually feel some type of way. I'm like Mother Serena. I'm Mother Serena. What do you need? But this year I'm going hard and I'm not taking dead weight. So I know you're serious because you'll be in the group and you'll be in a 12-month membership. That's what I know. Mission500k.com. Don't let the day go by without you getting in there. Miss Vicky and I will go live. We'll share some opportunities that she has and see who gonna do them. I mean, submit your darn capability statement, people. I'm done. I'm off. I'm over time. I have stuff to do, and I believe you do too. So let's get these certifications together. If you're struggling or whatever, put it in a group. Like if you need help, if you need an accountability partner, raise your hand. But let's go get it. Let's go get it. I love you guys. I want to see you succeed, and I'm excited to be a part of your journey. Okay. Have an awesome weekend. We will talk later, and you will get a recording of this for those that are in the Mission 500K group. See ya.